Hello everyone, and welcome back to Masks: A New Generation on CharismaToAC. We're playing, as you know, our teenage superhero RPG, in which I have the good honor of being the GM, and once more I am joined by everyone. So, hi everyone, how you doing?
I didn't know I had changed names.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
So if this is the first time you're tuning into this game, what are you doing? Go back and watch from the beginning, but also welcome. Yes, this is a game about playing superheroes, young superheroes, dealing with the compound weight of having to be a young hero with a lot of expectation and outside influence, and juggling your actual life and trying to maintain an idea of who you are in the face of the world keeping on telling you who you are for you. These are themes in this game. So
These are the reasons people become supervillains.
Exactly.
Yes, one of them is known as Pala. Wah.
So, last time we played, you lots did a bunch of different things. Who shall we throw it to today? Thalmid, will you remind us what we did last time? Were you here? You weren't here last time.
I wasn't here.
I'm throwing it to the sole person who wasn't here last time. Okay. No. So, let's see. Last time, what did we start out with you doing last time? I remember what we wound up doing. How do we start?
Yeah, but
Where we left off with force fields upon force fields.
Yeah, you did. That's how we started this out. So to begin with, you continued the fight from this prior session,
yes,
in which you were bogged down in a standoff with two witches in the Halcyon City Champion Park. The conflict ended with you guys saving Vigil from being tangled up and getting messed up by an evil shadow. But the witches identified White Sparrow as something they referred to as the catalyst, and then they peaced out.
And Vigil got pretty.
Yes, these are things. Vigil unlocked his power suite fully, meaning that he has fully embraced the power granted to him by the Lady of the Lake and by his lineage as being a descendant of the Arthurian line. So
as being the most prettified git in the group.
all right, so that happened. We learned that you didn't learn, but we, the viewing audience, learned that the witches of the Avalonian Coven are keeping a close eye on the Vigil, and are very, very pleased to know that the catalyst is close by one of the members of that order. We had you lots learn that while you had been busy here, the hospital, the Mercy Hospital, in which the clone of Monica LeFay had been placed, had come under attack, and the clone of Monica had been destroyed. She'd been killed. Bad
Yeah,
news.
I was about to say, this isn't a Sunday morning cartoon show. You can say the K word.
Yeah, exactly. She had been undone, had been rendered not here, had been unalived. No, yeah, she'd been killed. And knowing this, you decided to. While this was going on, Vigil was researching witches and spellcraft in relation to his order, and learned some information that could be useful to the to understanding what's going on, and learned the unsettling truth that you've not been able to piece this together because not everyone is privy to all the information, but it has come to be inferred that the Avalonian Coven has somehow been connected to Black Raven, and has been empowered through that most malign entity. you, and by you I mean White Sparrow, took on the shape of a male version of yourself and went to try and seduce Monica LaFay, which
We wanted to keep an eye out on her now that her was undone.
yes, this is a thing. So you went to Club Underground and basically like tried to like be near and close to her and keep an eye on her, which went both good and bad. There was some stuff that happened by extension of it, like someone kissing a llama. Don't if you don't know what I'm saying, audience, you go back and watch it. I can't be bothered to tell you. Someone kissed a llama face, and
I still don't know what's going on.
That's true.
Why I have a llama head?
It's all right. Don't be such a drama llama.
It's okay. So I will tell you. Basically, it was like it was horseplay between White Sparrow and Vigil. Like playing grab ass with each other and shape shifting. Was just a good natured fun. But you decided to when Monica left White Sparrow, you followed her. And you followed her in the guise of a bird, followed her into a construction site, where you found her meeting up with a group of witches, who talked about having attacked Verisign, who talked about, I seem to recall, like giving Graves what he deserves, having dealt with the thing, which clearly was an inference to the hospital situation, and then the witches pieced out through different means and methods, leaving only Morrigan Le Fay, the first villain your group ever fought, big villain you ever fought as a group, who did the time crystal nonsense before the campaign actually started. Leaving her there, and just as she was about to leave, she noticed you, and we left off on her moving to get you. So that's where we are going to start tonight, I reckon.
Yes. That makes sense.
But before we do that, let's talk about our characters. So all of you have a cool young superhero for you to tell us about. So Diamond, why don't you tell us a little bit about our bull?
Diamond is, well, as she just said, she's the group's bull. The bull being the classic powerhouse of a superhero group. And her labels at the moment is a freak of nothing, a danger of 3, and that is locked. She has a savior of -2 because ouch. She has a superior of 2, mundane of 1. And currently she's running around with 3 conditions. She did get rid of insecure last time, I believe it was, but she's still afraid, angry, and guilty. And she has she's not the most sociable of people right now. As a result, she's tried to hang out at the at this nightclub, and it's not exactly being, let's just say, it wasn't a sterling success. Although she did manage to get into a sort of awkward situation with Starlight, unintentionally, by the way. She's got something called the Bull's Heart, which is a source of strength for her, obviously, and determination and drive, which means that she's got a love and a rival. Her love is a very close friendship with Starlight. She trusts Starlight above and beyond pretty much any other living being on the face of the planet. And she has a rival relationship going with Finn's mother, Palla. She really does not like the woman and thinks she's the worst excuse of a parent in the history of parenting, and that she needs to go and drop in an acid vat or something somewhere and do the world a favor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, cool. next up, I think we should ask about Vigil or Finn. Tell us about
Or
yourself.
should we know?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah, Vigil. Finn is. I'm playing the Legacy playbook. Yeah, I am the man with the plan and no, wait, man with the family. This one. Okay. Yeah. So his current conditions are only hopeless still. His labels are Freak at -1, Danger at 0, Savior at 2, Superior at 0, and Mundane at 3. And yeah, there's nothing. Well, he's there's nothing more to him than that now currently.
Wow, way to undersell yourself. That's it. There's nothing more.
He's just the face of the group, the pretty one.
Oh yeah, of course. You're on the flag, of course.
Yeah,
You have
I want
best
the
social
posters
skills.
and t-shirts.
Yeah, the official tag of the Defenders is like a picture of you in Calvin Klein underwear, but like it's just your torso and like just below your junk.
Yeah, he's the poster boy, and boy spelled with an I, obviously.
Yeah,
Boy.
pure
Blah,
football.
blah. Yes.
He's the boy.
Blah.
All right. Cool. Next up, Nightshade.
So Nightshade is the Janus playbook.
Hmm?
My current labels right now are Freak -2, Danger 0, Savior locked at 3, Superior 3, and Mundane 3. I have 3 conditions. I'm angry, guilty, and insecure. With my playbook, I have to juggle real life. So my obligations to real life are my job, my schoolwork, and my best friend. And I also took drives as one of my advancements from the what playbook is that?
That is the Beacon.
The Beacon. So my drives right now are make out with a teammate, tell someone your true feelings for them, kiss someone dangerous, and punch someone you probably shouldn't.
Seems legit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Starlight. What's up in your neck of the woods?
Starlight?
Oh, well, it seems... Okay, let's just move on to Sparrow then, for a second. Sparrow,
Yes.
tell us about yourself.
Well, White Sparrow is of the Doomed playbook, which means that this nasty entity called Black Raven might just, kill her eventually. if things keep going as they are. Her labels are: she has a Freak of 0, a Danger of -2, a Savior of 3, a Superior of 2, and a Mundane of 0, and she's currently guilty. Possibly because of something she did.
Poor girl. All right, and you have a clause in your doom signs that you must abide by. What are the things you cannot do unless it advances your doom?
Well, I'm not allowed to hurt innocents.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty par for the course for a superhero. I'm also not allowed to talk openly about my doom.
Oh shit! Well, mark your doom sign. You just talked about it. I'm sorry.
No!
Just mark one every.
I-
mark one every sign.
That is a really shitty way of getting a player to take at least one doom sign every time we play, since you start out by asking every time.
Yeah, it's a good way to make myself fully deserving of a kick in the dick.
I am not allowed to communicate
GM.
openly about certain conditions that pertain to my character.
I have a not entirely medical condition that needs to be observed and respected. It's okay.
Along those lines, I guess.
Cool. So I've learned why we were greeted by abject silence from Starlight, and that is because her pest of a cat God, I don't understand why people own those things, but her pest of a cat
That's
has
adorable.
assaulted her internet. So she's doing a frantic scramble to return to the game.
Fun.
Yeah. However, meanwhile, while that is a
You
thing,
are my number one nemesis now, Daniel.
that's fine.
I thought I was. I've been saying pretty much the same thing about those cretins for as long as
Yes,
you've
but
known
not
me.
on record, I think.
Quite frequently, I think.
Dogs are better.
Well, I like
Preach.
you.
All the power to the doggo.
Dogs are needy and annoying.
Kill you all.
Dogs are awesome. Dogs are your friends. Cats hate you, except if you pay, unless you feed them. In which case, you can get to be their slave for another day.
No, Joan. For fuck's sake. No, Joan. Cats hate you. Specifically you.
That's true. I'm not even going to argue that because we know that is the case.
And
Hey,
as
AJ.
you could probably hear, my mom just called, so be right back.
All right. Hey AJ, are you back with us? I see your face here, but is everything as it should be?
You hopefully don't see my face, otherwise I've done something wrong.
Suddenly, your face just appears on screen. No, I meant I see your tag here in the chat. So welcome back. We were just talking about our characters. Would you be so good as to introduce us to Starlight,
No.
please?
Do it.
There's rice in it for you. So
Do it.
that's a really obscure reference.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Well, we just need your introductions, then we can.
All right. So tell us about Starlight.
Okay. Nova?
Yeah.
And I believe she's better off than she's been in a while. Have to find it, but if I talks meanwhile, I will play with the zoom function on the PC. Give me a second.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, she's down to 2 conditions. Woohoo!
Yay.
Awesome. That is lower than you've been in a while.
She's only insecure and hopeless. It's workable.
Poor lamb.
And her freak has gone down to 1. Which is horrible. Her danger is at 2. And the rest is at 0.
All right.
Yay!
Well, that's good stuff. And yeah,
Yep.
you are definitely in a better spot than you have been in a little while. So it's clearly helped out that you have become a horribly bad apple.
Clearly.
Clearly, that must have done something for her sense of self-image.
Yep. Because every time I do something bad, I feel better.
Just you gotta hit your stride, you know. Be like, okay, this is what I'm about.
Next thing we know, she's going to join Monica's little band of evildoers.
Next
Nah.
thing,
She's
if
not
you
that
join the
extreme.
Witches, we're screwed.
I mean, what's actually
You're
going to happen is
fine.
we're gonna hit the point in the story where it's explained that that Starlight's cosmic powers are as a result of her being a secret alien queen. She shifts playbook to the outsider, and then it becomes to be like an invasion arc where she becomes
Oh,
the scourge
God.
of the planet.
I think not.
I mean, you say that, but this is a comic book. I'm just warning you. These are things that can happen.
Well, only if Io wants it to, obviously.
It's true, of course. However, so that is our cast of characters, and I think, contrary to what I said before, I think where we will start tonight is actually not where we ended. We won't start with a shot of what's going on in White Sparrowville. We will actually be having a little establishing shot of what's going on inside the club now that you're suddenly Sun Sparrow. So,
right.
the establishing shot here is of the nighttime cityscape of Halcyon City being the gleaming metropolis of the American mainland. We of course have an active nightlife reflected with bright neons and shimmering lights, and one of them happens to be the blue tinged sign above Club Underground, where we just cut into and spy our young heroes seated at the bar having a good time way past their curfew. And I suppose I should ask you, Thalmid, if you would rather we also see Nightshade be present here at this club, like part of the affair tonight, or if you would rather that he wasn't there, and we instead see later on what he was doing all along.
No, I'm okay with him being here.
All right, cool.
Yay!
So
whole
in that
gang
case,
is together.
Yeah, you're actually sitting there, whole gang together, drinking though you're underage, in a bar you're not
we're
allowed
not
to
there
be in.
together.
And
Not all of us.
it turns out
That's true.
that though one would initially think you are all here together, we see in the frame the conspicuous absence of White Sparrow.
Well, true.
So
Yay! Everybody who matters is here.
yay! Never mind that other one. What even is that person? But yeah, so
she's not.
I just took a dark side point there.
So I think the reason I want to like establish this shot first, right? We get a couple of panels of you guys in the club is because we ended on the last one being in the former issue being one of Sparrow. And so I think what we're doing here is we're juxtaposing the situations. So why don't you like give me an idea of what you're doing and what it's like do we cut in on you being suddenly and immediately worried? Like, has anyone seen White Sparrow? Like, where is Illy? Or are we cutting in on you having a good time? It's like late at night and it's music throbbing, drinks pouring. This is just like super jazzy and calm and nice to be able to unwind for a moment.
I would say Finn would notice because Finn was on alert because he noticed Monica's stickman tattoo and all that stuff, and he was on the he was trying to keep track of Sparrow and Monica, but when they both disappeared, I suppose he would either notify everybody or just move on its own, depend where he is in a club.
All right, so you do notice, right? You sit there at the bar with your friends, and you notice that. Well, wait a minute. What? Nelly isn't here. What's up here? Like White Sparrow, where'd she go? You become aware of this. Do you bring this to attention of your teammates?
I probably get quickly go to them and wherever they are.
They're right next to you, just like in the stools next to you, like on both sides.
He's probably like, it's like catching eye with everybody and like saying like, oh, this is not good. This is not good. Where is Sparrow? Did anybody see Sparrow?
No.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Is this llama head like a mask, or am I like transformed with a llama head?
Don't worry about it. So you are not transformed. You don't have a llama head at all.
Okay.
This is not affecting you. This is Sparrow pulling shenanigans. Last
Okay.
You know,
It
the
was Sparrow
shapeshifter.
trying to pretending to be you.
I didn't know
and
if I
then
should talk
you
or
with the
not.
llama.
Don't worry about it. You.
Can you make llama sounds?
I don't even know what. Yeah. Wait. Do they make like sounds or something?
I have no idea, and I'm not going to try to sound like I'm wise to the ways of the llama. I am not a ninth dan of llama foo.
I think I'm not sure, but like just from like off the top of my head, I think the sound I would be most surprised if anyone I knew could just like flawlessly imitate would be the cry of an elk.
Yeah.
That's
Those I always whenever I hear those, I always think back to our encounter with the Wendigo. And
That's a while ago. It's an old Pathfinder game. Yeah, that thing fucked you up.
Yeah, it did.
Sure. Sorry. Sidetrack. Yeah. So I think it's called a bugle, like not a cry, but like I think it's called a bugle. The sound they make. It's really weird. So sorry. You don't have a llama head.
Okay.
Proceed.
Unfortunately, but we can get one installed if you want.
No, that's all right.
like the lamest alternate cut of Game of Thrones ever. Behold the king of the north. A llama head dangling in his body.
So, no, I don't know where she is. Did she? What? Did anybody see her leave even?
Yeah, Finn would be probably like his eyes would go wider and like, yeah, I think we need to go.
Okay, well, she gets up, but what happened? What's up?
I
I'll
think
tell
you
you.
see Nightshade like a little distracted, like he's
Yeah.
looking at his reflection in a mirror,
Okay.
and it takes him a while to like register that you're talking to him, and then he's like, "What?"
Yeah, I'll explain on outside. He just
Alright,
tries
so
to
we
grab everybody and
just like, let's get out like away from the thrumming music.
yes.
So then we have the next panel of you like standing outside. Everything is nighttime blue around you, and the music has faded to just like a subtle bass line that's present in the stonework around you. Like being immediately outside kills the worst of the noise, but you can still very much feel where you are. Yes.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Okay then.
Yeah, he just looks if everybody got out, and like when everybody gets out, like as together, like he's like, oh, shit, I think we need to find Sparrow wherever she went, because I think she went for Monica, and that's not a good idea.
Oh, what possessed her to do that on her own? I mean, okay, come on, let's go, guys.
Cool.
Yeah,
Smash cut. Next panel. Sparrow. You're looking down upon the form of Morrigan Le Fay, looking up at you through the hood of her cloak, grinning maliciously as she approaches you, hovering above the ground and ascending towards your perch.
I think, for communication's sake, I shall turn human. Actually, I think I will turn human as in my everyday form, because I don't want her to see my redness.
Interesting. So you turn, like you shift your form out of the bird form, and she's like extending a paint like a nail painted hand towards you, like clearly preparing to do something. But when you turn into a human, she stops and like hesitates for a moment, and we see like a picture of her squinting at you, and she's like, "Wait a minute. No, you." You can't be.
What are you doing back here? Didn't we beat your ass enough last time? I would like to provoke her.
You're the catalyst.
I'm the what now?
How? Never mind. I suppose this is convenient. You said you wanted to provoke her.
Yes, I want to provoke her into monologuing and telling me her plan. Which was why I said, what are you doing back here? Didn't we kick your ass enough last time?
Interesting. So, she's not buying that. So a trick here to be aware of is, sometimes when you provoke someone, I'll just be like, yeah, we re-roll to see if you provoke someone. Sometimes you need to strike a specific chord that only I know if you want that angle, or you need to somehow have your words be meaningful to them.
Makes sense.
Which it would usually mean having influence over them. In this particular case, that is not it. Though this is also where piercing the mask comes in, right? You can use pierce the mask to like become aware of what it is they want, and like work your way around that to get them to talk or get like a venue of approach to provoke
I might try that.
In other words, the one move that we never ever use.
Yep, exactly.
And that I'm not very good at, because mundane at 0.
So she hovers up like on your level, ascending from the ground, cape fluttering, and like you're basically perched on like a steel bar in the skeleton of a soon to be high rise, and she like hangs next to you, with like a bit of a distance between you, and she looks to you and she says, "So, yes, this will do nicely. I suppose I didn't expect that it would be you, but it doesn't matter. You'll come with me now." And she extends her hand, and you see spellfire flick to life along her fingers. You have a second here. What do you do?
I shield myself.
All right, you push forth, erecting some kind of like barrier.
Yes.
Cool. So unleash your powers, I suppose.
If
Actually-
only I could use Savior to save myself.
I think you might be able to.
Oh.
I think I stumbled across something along those lines recently. Let me just check and make sure if I did.
Yes, please. That would make me very happy.
It would make your life considerably easier, let's face it.
It would.
It's not about preemptively preparing a defense or setting up a shield. It's about preventing the worst in the moment. The threat must be immediate for the move to trigger. The key is you're defending another PC. That is, you're defending against another PC. When you trigger this move, be sure both you and the GM are clear on what the immediate threat is. You don't trigger defend someone when you're trying to keep yourself safe from an NPC or environmental threat. That is much more likely to be another move. Cool. Yeah, that's what that is. So it is unleash your power.
Fair enough. And
It's to do you do use defend when you defend yourself in PvP, but only then.
all right. Did I let Lightwing out last time?
I forget. Why don't we?
I believe that you did, but no. Wait a second. You didn't want him to be seen by these.
Ah, that's right, because he's quite bright, and I was
Yeah,
sleeping.
exactly. He was very
Yeah.
bright, and they were trying to be all hidden and stuff. So you kept
Yes,
him away.
in that case, Sparrow extends a hand, and the light that flows kind of from her chest out from the hand forms into Lightwing as he assists her.
Interesting. So we see Lightwing manifest. Now you're of course keenly aware that, like, I'm assuming at least that you're aware that you're outclassed here, and
I am.
significantly so. But that still doesn't mean that you can't raise a temporary defense. So unleash your powers for me, and let's see if you can abate what it is she's about to do. Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
hit.
So there's something there. Do you want to take a condition, or shall I tell you how it is unstable or temporary?
Tell me how it's unstable or temporary.
All right, it's temporary. So you're like pushing out. We see a field of shimmering energy appear, and from her hand extends this like purplish, like crawling hand that like stretches and extends and grows like as like a clawing appendage that like plows into the side of your shield, and you see the long clawed fingers of it like push through the shield. You like have to put away from it like a little bit, just like ugh, as they like start pushing through, and she just like keeps pushing, the hand stretching further and further forward. Eventually, like in mere moments, it will push through the barrier, doing whatever it's supposed to do. You get the sense that she's trying to snatch you up. Like catch you, not as much like wreck you, but
Yeah,
you have
I
abated her for a second. What do you want to do?
I think for that I will definitely I say, what the hell do you need me for? And I'll try to pierce the mask.
Interesting, I dig it. All right, so when you try to pierce the mask on someone, you roll plus mundane.
Yeah, unfortunately. Shall I just roll it?
Yes, I'm into this. Let's see how this goes.
Oh, full hit.
Rushed. All right,
Nice.
10 plus. Ask 3 questions from the list.
Let me just find the list. Because as Joan mentioned, we have never used this move.
This is a new day. Haha! I win today's contest.
Okay, do you want me to take them one at a time, or do you want me to ask all 3 at the same time?
You can take the one at a time.
In that case, my first question will be, what are you really planning?
All right. I'm just going to quickly consult the book because, as we established, yes, this is kind of like uncharted territory.
Yes.
So, and I know that there is a specific something to be aware of when you ask these questions. So I'm just gonna make sure I give you the answer you deserve.
I just want to mention that it sounded like Morgan cast Bigby's crushing hand.
That's kind of like where my inspiration was initially, just be like, yeah, something like that. Confidence.
I love the fact that you're old school enough to still refer to it as Big B's
Indeed.
crushing hand.
Well, yeah.
All
That's
right.
the only way to refer to it.
Preach.
It's the only right way, but I mean, obviously, since Greyhawk is no longer in use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. So,
And you know all the copyright infringement thingies from using the right names.
Yep.
Let's see. All right. So she says to you, my long-term plans, my little one, are far more interesting and far more important than I would have the time or inclination to tell you right here. But let us just say that I need you. The power possessed within you will be oh so very useful to us, drawn out to its full potential. You will become the catalyst, and she will have you. And that's like a capital S, she.
Yeah. That's creepy. I mean, Sparrow is of course going to assume she means Raven.
Yeah, that's totally the inference, right?
Oh, I had such a comeback right there, but I'm not there.
Okay, next question will then be, what do you want me to do?
Cool. All right, so let's see. So how do you ask this, right? Like you can pierce the mask here, but I'm kind of curious. Like this conversation in which you gain an insight to her happens as you're like keeping the hand at bay as it's crushing through.
Yeah, and I think
the
this
conversation
question-
that's happening here. I'm curious about how you bound this.
Yeah, and I just realized this question can be understood in multiple ways.
Yeah.
So I think what she's asking is, what the hell is this catalyst thing? What do you need me for? Kind of more so than, what do you want from me? Because
it puts
that's
a
quite
focus
obvious.
on like what is her vision and ideas for you. What does she want you to do? What can you become for her?
Exactly. Not so much, what can I do for you, oh Morrigan?
Yeah, but how do you fit into her plans?
Yeah. So how do you have an idea for how you say this, or shall I just tell you and we assume the conversation?
What's this vessel bullshit? Oh, was it vessel? Was it catalyst? Catalyst bullshit. What do you want with me?
I suppose I should not be surprised. It doesn't matter, little one. Suffice to say that, as the catalyst, you will become more powerful than you could ever fathom. You will aid in the creation of something beautiful, and you will help us to finally assume where we belong in this world. It'll all be thanks to you. You should be honored.
Safe to say I won't be. And lastly, how could I gain influence over you?
Interesting.
Ooh, nice.
How could you gain influence over her?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it in fact possible that you have just stumped GM?
I'm just making sure that I'm honoring what I've written down about the character.
Oh, of course.
The way to gain influence over her right now, you have two options here. Either you abuse her pride because you feel it clearly. She's a prideful person, very attached to who she is, what she's doing, and like investing herself a lot in the fight that she's a part of, which is where this kind of obsession that you're feeling from her with regards to you is clearly stemming from. So either you hammer her buttons and make her angry, that's an option. In which case you would do that by belittling her self-image, like, and who she is, and like calling her out as being like nothing. Which is a hard sell given your different scope in power, but you could do it. It's an angle, or you can like be intrigued. You can play her game. You can like say that you can call for a ceasefire and tell her that you want to be part of this. In which case she will commend your vision.
Well, I think I have a plan for the first one, even though the second one could be very interesting as well.
So,
okay, so what happens now?
Now the barrier cracks. Your shield splinters. The hand stretches forward. It grabs in the air, about to snatch around you. Do you remain? Do you let her grab you, or do you dodge?
I think I let her grab me.
Interesting. So the clawing hand of purplish energy shuts around you, pushing your arms into the side. Lightwing flies off, not so as not to get captured, but like still hanging here in your presence. And you have this, you get squeezed basically, so you have this uncomfortable sensation of just being crushed. But she's not killing you. Like, it's just that level of discomfort, right? Where you're like, oh god, okay, I can still breathe. It's fine. And she hovers closer to you with the energy still crackling as this like band between her outstretched hand and this like enlarged claw grabbing you. She like just hovers closer to you. Do you speak to her?
I do. And Sparrow looks at her and says, "So you need me for your plans? I guess that just goes to show how weak you really are, because we've already beaten you once, and I've made some powerful friends, and they've taught me that sometimes all you need is power, and I would like to use my infinite power."
Interesting.
Specifically, just to hammer it home,
Yeah.
I would like to use, to mark my doom track, to use the sorcery part of the Nova playbook.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh, so you're playing on her playing field.
Yes.
And she doesn't expect that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this will definitely blindside her.
And basically, I will quite aptly just want to make a magical Nova, basically overwhelming all in the magic in the area, specifically hers.
Right, you want to cancel out what she's doing?
Yeah, and a kind of... I mean, Sparrow's not a sorceress of any kind.
No.
And she's using the Raven power to do this. So it's going to be violent and big and boomy. I'm thinking, just saturating the area so much with magic that magic ceases to function properly. Kind of like wild magic.
Interesting. Is that within the scope of what you're doing? Let's call it within the scope. Let's play with the idea that you could somehow trick up magic here.
I mean, if I had taken it from another playbook than the Nova, maybe not, but it's the Nova.
Yeah. So it's the idea of using magic to fuck up magic. I'm curious about, but I'm into it. This could be a result of you unleashing your power, right? It's
a bit like a short circuit, isn't it? Actually, it's a bit
Yes.
like using power to short circuit a power supply.
I'm into
That's exactly what I thought.
it. Unleash your powers.
Yes. And I think so. As you said, Brightwing flew off, of course. Lightwing, not Brightwing. That fuck was creepy. But the small, as she says this, the small Sparrow comes back, and Sparrow looks at Morrigan as she says this, slowly turning into her proper self with all the red, because she's marking her doom track.
Yeah.
And as the sparrow flies just over her head, she explodes.
Cool. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, let's see if I can do this. Full hit.
Let me guess, the rest of us can actually hear this shit.
Yeah, this is definitely something that will draw your attention. Right. So cool. So you do this thing. Let's just have a quick look at the wild side here. So you say these words. She looks at you as you turn. You turn and become like visibly touched by Raven. And there's that split second where she reacts, where she's like, "Wait, something's about to happen," and then you eject sorceress powers from out your person. It rolls out in a Death Star explosion-esque wave of magic, and she's like thrown back. We see her like sail through the air. She like hits herself towards one of the like cross beams on the other side, like with an oof, and like falls to the ground. You yourself manage to catch yourself on the beam upon which you're hovering over, not falling particularly far. And yeah, this like the entire area you're in has this weird change in tone. I think the panel gets like overlaid with a somewhat like pinkish overlay, and there's like little crawling lightning bolts forming tiny spider webs of arcana. That kind of like indicates visually that like the arcanoscape of this place has been balked.
And I think Sparrow looks down at her and says, "Don't you ever think you could control me."
Oh, little one, you mistake me! And she stretches her arms up, and like a black flare emerges from her eyes, rolling out, and at this point, we just like hard cut. We see the rest of you like walking along the streets when suddenly there is this like this wave of arcana that rolls off like a couple of blocks down.
Yeah.
And yeah, you become aware of what's up. Like there's definitely something going on over there. If it's not Sparrow, it's still something.
Yeah, guys, that's got to be Sparrow.
That didn't look like Sparrow's power, though.
I know, but just take my word for it. I had a talk with her a few days ago or a few nights ago, and I think we have to go right now and help her.
Right, let's go.
Yeah, Finn is actually when after turning corner, he's focusing he's focusing for a second, and all over here, like suddenly, he glows a little, and his superhero costume suddenly turns into armor.
Ooh, nice.
The armor and
fancy.
Obviously a cape. Capes. Yeah, and since we established, I think Daniel, way before that, if he gets his armor, he can fly after this.
I think it is a thing that you can try to it's not that you can fly, because you can't, but you can use the power of your armor to try to use the armor's property of flight. It would be unleashing your powers to do so, but it is no longer a thing that you can't do. It is a thing you might be able to.
Yeah, well, then since he's not, then he just focuses for a second and just starts he turns to the rest, I'll take the point, and he just starts sprinting forward.
Oh yeah, you're hella fast, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the speedster takes off, zooms down the street, as the rest of you chase in the same direction.
Yep.
All right, and let's take a break here. We'll return to see how this is playing out. So we'll be right back with more masks. Don't go anywhere.